Yes, sir, Andy. We're back in the trolls again on a Monday morning. That was Steppenwolf we were listening to this morning. Interestingly enough, I have Steppenwolf Monster, of course, on MP3 because of the ASCAP license that you can't see in the camera lanes, but it's right up here. And I don't have it on vinyl. So the vinyl search is continuing. Week 4, Steppenwolf Monster. Morning, everybody. Andy, everybody. It is Monday, May 15th. It is the day after Mother's Day, so I hope all the mothers had a good day yesterday. I posted on Facebook, Frank Zappa, Mothers of Invention, Happy Mother's Day. Not too many sure. The younger ones probably didn't get it. It's also May 15th is all, and here it is. Andy has taken himself every morning now. In Monday morning, he has taken it upon himself to tell me what national day it is. And today is National Chocolate Chip Day. Look it up. Chocolate chips were discovered by accident, I guess. This is what you're telling me. Andy, it's all the news that's fit to print. It was discovered by accident, broken down, he ran out of chocolate, he started using semi-sweet, made some cookies, and the rest is history. And that's why, after the show, we're going to go to Pipewrench and ask for chocolate chips. Oh, it's warming up, ain't it, Andy? It's really been warming up since beginning of the month. It's real quick now, too. Like, I've noticed that. We had a few times in the 80s last week already. Hold on, though, Andy. Yeah, everybody, hold on to your seats, cowboys. I got some bad news for you. The world's most influential weather system is shifting gears. That's right. The El Nino, I am El Nino. All other tropical storms pale before El Nino. El Nino means the Nino in Spanish. Thank you, Chris. The El Nino is building along the Pacific Ocean equator region right over there, right yonder. And it could have, the experts, the scientists, the weather people, it could have dramatic effects on, especially the United States. We've covered how we get the worst of the worst, and around the globe. And wait a minute, I said around the globe. For the flat earthers, it's across the globe, close to the edge. And yes, that's a good album. I don't have yes, close to the edge. It's supposed to continue all through, okay? Late summer, throughout the next, beginning of next year. They're predicting hundreds, record-breaking in the fall, winter, all that. And then they're saying that, we have all sorts of weather shit going on right now. And with just El Nino chipping in, we're going to soar to new heights in weather problems. All this rain last season, okay, was due to El Nino. Not El Nino, but And so we had El Nino raining, now we have El Nino. back in my day, Andy, we didn't have all that El Nino. It was just summer and hot, and we freaking liked it. Okay? Speaking of hot and back in my day, you asked for it. Emails and messages have asked for it, so we're going to get right to it. The House and the Senate in Washington, D.C., along with the Biden administration, are tinkering and trying to get some fixes to Title IX. Now, what Title IX is for the NCAA college athletics is, it levels the playing field, kind of, for sports. For instance, my strong suit is sports, so I really have an opinion on what's coming up. But Michigan, the University of Michigan cash cow is college football. Okay, it always has been. They have the big house, the biggest stadium in the United States. They sell out more boosters all over the country. They're making the playoffs. There's money there. Okay, so can the college football program keep all the money and let the women's tennis and men's wrestling and women's softball, et cetera, go to waste? No. Title IX says the field has to be level. You got to share in the money. And I know sports. We cover every year. We cover the pro football, college football in the fall. It's always go blue. Tigers are, Lions are going to be on prime time 5 years coming up. Red Wings are rebuilding. Title IX is trying to tackle trans athletes in sports. Now, before I go into trans athletes in sports, I'm going to tell you a story, and I'm going to follow this person's guidance. Andy, I love doing back when I was a kid. I graduated from Sentinel High School in 1975. Go Spartans! 1976, we had the Summer Games in Montreal. A 26-year-old athlete just blew into those games. He won the decathlon, the triathlon. He was shot putting, high jumping, running, racing, hurdling. Okay? He's a stud. Okay? We talked about Bruce Jenner. He was on all the Wheaties boxes, everywhere. I eat my Wheaties in the morning, and it's Bruce. He broke records, set records, okay? No, not vinyl records. Oh, I bet he had some vinyl records, 76. So, we didn't know the things about this person that we do now. Obviously. And by the time 2015 came around, the transition was complete or far enough along so that we met Caitlin. Now, Caitlin has been very outspoken about trans athletes in sports. And, as far as I'm concerned, who would know better than a former Olympic champion? Who? Can you name one? I can't name one. Okay? Caitlin says that she believes that until they're doing things that correctly, she believes that genetics, bone mass, muscle mass, all contribute to that athlete's performance. she jokingly said, even though she's 73 years old at this time, she thinks she could still win Olympic gold or bronze if she were trans and committed. It's really cut and dry what she says. She's not popular with the trans community because they're all right. You know, it's fair. It's okay. Okay? She says it's not. Who would know better? I'm going to go with the trans athlete. Okay? Says it's not. It's not fair. Okay? It's not level. I think that the biggest, I don't know, I think that the biggest example of this is what the NCAA was dealing. I mean, the NCAA has had runners and sprinters, and if you look up the videos, it's very obvious what's going on, that these people are unmatched. But I think that the big one that really brought everybody's attention to this, Andy, I think it was the March 2022 University of Pennsylvania swimmer that won the NCAA Division I women's 500-yard freestyle. Now, Leah, that's the swimmer's name. First of all, the Olympics and the NCAA are trying to figure out how long they should go through hormone treatment before it's okay to compete. The Olympics, I believe, is 3 years, and athletes are competing in 1. And the NCAA required 3 years. And Leah had like 18, 19 months to go. Now, the obvious problems with the Leah Thomas situation is that a couple years earlier, and I mean a couple years earlier, okay, Leah Thomas, swimmer, was ranked 400. Andy, this is stats that are right. You got them here. What's this picture? I'm going to get to it. Okay, I'm going to get to the picture. Leah Thomas was ranked 498th out of 500 men swimming. Okay? Just 2 years later, she was ranked number 1 in women's 500 freestyle and set a record doing it. Does that sound right? Does that sound fair? I'm kind of saying no, Andy. Michael Phelps, and you know Michael Phelps, the pot-smoking, multi-gold winner, record-setting swimmer in the Olympics, came out in a statement after this 2022 incident and said that something has got to be done to stop this unfair advantage. Appearing on a podcast, and if you're listening, God, would we love to have her, Andy? We'd love to have her. And we'd love to have her here. Riley Gaines. You all know who Riley is. She's the 4-time SEC champion out of the University of Kentucky. She has been very outspoken, and rightfully so, I think, about how she was treated, her fellow swimmers were treated by the NCAA, by the judges, they're supposed to be following Title 19. I don't think the whole ordeal. Riley came out and said on her latest podcast that the reason that Leah, the trans swimmer, was breaking records is because she's a man. Caitlyn Jenner says, genetically speaking, she's get a bronze medal. She's still a guy. Muscle mass, bone mass. It's just not swimming. Now, before you jump off all over me, and I'm like, girls are getting hurt and stuff, and people are going, yeah, there's some pretty tough girls out there. I know they are. There are some pretty tough women out there, okay, that can hold their own, okay? Swimming, obviously not in college, okay? Leah Thomas is ranked #1, so obviously it doesn't work in swimming. Girls are getting hurt in boxing, playing hockey, okay? Wrestling with boys. It's an unfair advantage. Okay, boys are wrestling, boys are playing football, and girls are. What really bugs me about the whole Leah Thomas situation is that, by all reports that we've read, Andy, here and the things that you were showing me, the things that you've been showing me are it's just the pictures of these athletes. And like I said, before the transition, before that 2 year from when going from 498th to screwing Riley Gaines and the rest of them out of their medals 2 years later, not even following the NCAA rules. This person was by all means, a chauvinist, kind of a bully in his part-time, and now he's a #1 swimmer for women. Okay, and all right, now what do you direct? Now, can we show this, Andy? We can't. Have you people seen the podium picture for when Leah Thomas beat Riley Gaines and company in the swimming tournament? I have it here on the computer. You have Leah over here on my left, and then far to the right of the podium, you have the three girls, kind of all huddled together. Leah strikes she is at least a foot taller than everybody, much more muscular and bigger. Andy, when you threw this up, and the first thing I thought, and I'm not kidding everybody, do you know, everybody watch Sesame Street? Anybody watch Sesame Street out there? Okay. Sesame Street. I'm looking at the picture, the three girls and Riley and them over here, and the trans swimmer over here, and I'm thinking three of these things belong together. Three of these things are kind of the same. Can you guess which one doesn't belong here? Now it's time to play our game. Play our game. Sesame Street. They got it. How many years ago did that come out, Andy? They got it down, don't they? I feel sorry for the whole situation. The NCAA has got to get a handle on this. The stuff that we were seeing while we were preparing this podcast. I watched a wrestler who was transitioning in high school and won her class, weight class, and the state title. Broke a girl's leg on the way doing all this women's wrestling. I witnessed or watched a film of a trans hockey player playing on a hockey team. Took the whole team's heads off. Like I said, look at the picture of the awards ceremony. Leah Thomas is a hulking, big, imposing figure on that podium, while the cringing three of these things belong, one doesn't. Sesame Street had it right how many years ago, Andy? You're going to say 48. All right, 48 years ago, they had it right. So the way that the NCAA has it right now, Michigan, University of Montana. Now, wait, hold on, Andy's saying, giving me the hold on. There are states that are just overriding the university systems and saying, look, this ain't right. Do I agree with the states getting involved in schools and education and athletics and all that shit? Hell freaking no. Okay? I don't want the governor or anybody else in the state of Michigan tinkering around with the University of Michigan football program. Okay? For any reason. But, Pipe, what if there's a trans female thinks she's a man? She can start at Michigan, we'll play her. She can start, holy Moses. Yeah, okay. But it happens all, they got to figure out something. You got former Olympic athletes, Caitlyn Jenner, Michael Phelps speaking out against it. It's in the House and the Senate. There's no provisions in Title IX that say that this is not okay. From what I'm understanding, Andy, is this right here? Okay, the Biden administration is tinkering with it. Okay, we've got how many states? 17? American Sign Language is not your strong suit. He's trying to spell out 17. Okay, just write it on a board. 17 states have all come out and said Montana is one of them. I agree with the principle. I'm just not agreeing on how they're doing it. I don't like government interference. The NCAA should set bylaws. Okay, I don't think that there should be 3 years. I don't think it's long enough. Caitlyn says it's not long enough. Michael Phelps says it's long enough. Most experts say it's not long enough. Okay, the transition can't go from I'm a sophomore and I suck at swimming to I'm a senior and I'm number one in the NCAA. And that's exactly what Thomas did. And I mean exactly. Okay, it was sophomore to senior. Okay, freshman year I'm in college, la-di-da, I'm drinking, hanging out with the guys, being a chauvinistic ass. Now I'm swimming in my sophomore year. Well, shit, I'm 498th out of 500. I really, really suck. Except for two guys, and they suck worse than me. And then just 2 years later, I'm a girl, and I'm going to win. And shit. Something needs to be done. It's an unfair playing field, and I don't, as a sports follower, a sports commentator, a sports journalist, fan, what else am I? Sports nut, wing nut. Let's go Red Wings. It's not fair, okay? Something needs to be done, period. It's crazy. Oh, speaking of crazy, speaking of crazy shit, if that we just covered for 20 minutes wasn't crazy enough, suspense, huh? Doomsday cult mom, self-proclaimed sex goddess. Hey, have you seen her? Lori Vallow was found guilty last week of the murders of her two children, Tylee, she was 16, and Joshua, he was 7. Also, Chad Daybells, that's her husband, that once the kids became missing, she jaunted out to Hawaii to get married. Chad Daybell's wife, Tammy, she was convicted of complicity, conspiracy, and she basically was part of it. Okay. The jury took... We were all on edge for a while. We knew. It's like, where's the kids? It's like we called it 3 years ago. Lady, where's your kids? They're dead. No, they're not dead. We just can't find them. Who in God's name loses their kids? What, your kids? Any of you lost your kids? They just ran away to Cleveland. Oh, boy. And these kids ran away to Cleveland. So, it took, like I said, the jury took 6 hours to convict, right? They went to jury duty. They were, met for 2-3 hours. It's like, let's break for dinner and go home. Then the next morning they got up. Let's have some donuts. They were done by freaking lunch. Isn't it creepy? The kids' bodies, Tylee and Joshua's bodies, were found buried in a pet cemetery. A pet cemetery, just like the freaking movie, yeah, on Graybill's property. Now, the reason that, it was a pet cemetery, and I don't know if there were cats in there. Jeez, I've seen the movie. I don't know why I brought it up. It was on the script. It's on the board. I bring it up. You put things down. A pet cemetery. Isn't that creepy, though? I mean, come on. Tammy was Chad's wife. Tammy was originally death was originally ruled accidental, and they exhumed her body and found out that she was asphyxiated and strangled. So, I knew. I so knew. Okay? Everybody in the world knew. It was like a real thing. The artist formerly known as Prince is now in his purple rain. Prince Charles. I mention it, but being Scott Irish, I really don't give a fuck. On that note, Andy says, he gives me the little bing on that note. We're going to wind it up this Monday, May 15th, National Chocolate Chip Day, by letting everybody know what we tell you every week, people. Spay and neuter your dogs and cats and pets. Don't keep losing them. God, I see on Facebook, my dog got out of the fence. My dog got here. God, go perimeter your fence and fix it. It's not your dog's fault that he got out the fence. It's your fault. Your job, owning a dog, is to keep him safe. If If he gets out and gets hurt, it's on you. Okay? Accidents happen. No, they don't, Andy. They don't. I can be a hard ass if I want some of the time. We're looking for Dixie Chicken on vinyl, Little Feet, Steppenwolf on vinyl, Monster, and what else? That's it? You're kidding me. That's it? Her Satanic Request by the Rolling Stones. All right, everybody. Andy's giving me the roll. So remember, adopt, don't shop. Come on. Spay and neuter. Kiss your dogs. Rescue. Foster. Go kiss and hug it. Your neighbor's dogs today. And you know, you can adopt a shelter pet right now, today. Andy, we're good? We're good. It's Chuck